Hi guys. So this is the second example in um, section. Is it what section was it? Sorry. So it's section 3.2 multiple controls. So the first example was this. We printed this colors, right? Um, I mean, we printed the text, but we want to extend this app, and instead of printing the text, we want to create a nice bar plot, a colorful one, right? So let's try this. All right. So it's basically the same input. So UI. So UI side is basically the same, except that it looks nicer because we're using sidebar layout. Okay. And the other thing is that um, in the previous app, when we type the values, and then when we select different numbers, the values disappear, right? Can we um, can we retain the correct current values, right? So I mean, we learned this before. The function that we need is isolate, right? So let's do that. So why don't we, you know what? Let's name this. Let's rename this part A. Part A. What don't we just say A? Uh, part A. Part A. All right. Um, and let's create the file by naming this by part B. Okay. Shiny app. Never mind, because we're gonna just revise this. It's very similar app. Okay, so basically we are revising this part. Instead of printing text, we are making a bar plot. Okay, so first of all, the retaining current values, right? So we need to add something here in the text input function. So here, value, right? So we need to isolate input, um, curly bracket, and dot x. Well, I'm sorry, not curly bracket, double bracket, right? So this is the same thing that we learned in section 3.1, right? So when we run this and say we type blue, red, without isolate function here, without adding isolate function, when we change the value, numeric value, the value disappeared, right? But now let's say we change it, the value is still there, right? We're able to retain the current values. So that's what it's for, okay? And all right, so and then instead of text output, it should be plot output. Yeah, plot output. And let's give plot for the ID, output ID. And so this here should be plot. And instead of render text, we need render plot. And down here, we're going to use bar plot. So let's bring up the documentation for bar plot. Okay. So bar plot height. Height is the mandatory argument. Uh, and then width. Yeah, height seems to be the only mandatory argument. So let's provide. There's a COL. Okay. So COL, a vector of colors for the bars. Vector of colors. Okay. So COL represents colors. So do. Let's provide one and color blue and see what happens. Okay. That's one bar. and about 2, and then we provide 2 colors here, and then red. No, I see. Um, let's, because I'm seeing, so what I'm seeing here, so REP, that's repeat. So let's do that first. REP, oh, 1 and 1, 3. So, all right, so they're all 1. Okay, so what we want here is, say, REP 1, 2. So our repeat of 1, 2, that means 1 and, so 1 and 1, 2 ones. So that is the height. So 1 is height, but then there are 3 ones. So 3 bars of height 1. So that's basically what it means. So if we, so because there are 3 ones, if we were to add one more color, green, then yeah, there you go. Okay. So we can change the height as well because the first argument is height. Can we do different heights like that? There you go. Okay. All right. So that's bar plot, how it works. Um, the space is 0. So if we were to add space 0, then there will be no space between bars. And then axis, axis, what is it? False. And then there's no labels here. Okay. So that is what's going on. Now, space and axis, those are static, right? Those are static, don't change. But colors argument here is COLs. COLs, we defined this already. So this is like input dollar sign color 1, input dollar sign color 2, input dollar sign color 3, depending on selected value in the numeric input, right? And that is a way to retrieve whatever the input that the users provided, the text, red, blue, the colors in the text box, right? So that's basically what we're doing here, what we did in console, right? So that is what this COLs, colors represent, right? And how many ones here? How many ones? That um, the COLs, the length of COLs represents, you know, um, the number of text box inputs, text inputs. Okay, so that's basically what we have here. So repeat 1 and length of. So we need to save this. We need to save this in COLs, right? COLs, COLs, and alt dash. So we want to put that here. Um, and then what do we need? Colors argument, and that will be right. COLs, COLs, and then the others are static space equals 0, axis false, right? Now, when we run this, what happens is uh, there's an error, invalid color name, because remember, brief moments, this returns null, right? So when this returns null, then it's supposed to return this empty value, and it's complaining that empty value is not a valid color name. So we need to address that, and that's what it's for here. So when so in colors, where this colors empty, right? Then replace that empty with an A. So that's basically what we're doing. So convert empty value with an A. So colors. So one bracket, and colors equals. So this is a condition empty. Then replace that with an A. False. Sorry about that. So let me close it and run it again. There you go. Blue, red, um, about 3 colors. It retains the value, current value, and green. Hooray! Great. That's a lot of fun. All right. Um, Great job, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, by the way, um, I think we spent a lot of time in this chapter. There were lots of advanced coding in this chapter so far. So, we are going to skip this dynamic filtering, and we're going to jump to code along assignment in the next video. All right. Take care.